aesthetic is rather obvious.
Lovely.
And
So the entirety of the
barren is an
fucking-
also interesting term for him to take. What that construes, however, out of 14, you don't know. Kasai knows of the tribe. They are, well, not all, most Nevados tribes are pastoralist. They are war-based. The still dancers, like most necromancers in the world, will take your dead and make them their own forces. She does note that they do have a respect to the dead, though. Like, they don't, like, torment the dead. They reutilize them, sure. They recycle them, but they don't, like, fuck them up. So, those are the Stow Dancers. Who wants to open the door to HDST?
I would suggest Oriana. That way, the first person they see isn't one of our, like, dozen different Nevros people right now.
Yes,
or an elf.
yes.
Yeah.
Oriana,
Cycle of weirdness.
you go over to the door and open it up, and you see a front reception area, a large sort of U-shaped table occupying the front and center of the lobby. You see that there are 3 guardsmen stationed there, like helmets off, doing paperwork and stuff like that. But, well, they were doing paperwork from the looks of it. The frontmost one has his attention focused on an officer who's standing and talking to him. It doesn't take a particularly insightful eye to note that he's not, like, standing at attention. He's not super tense talking to his officer like you would expect of military personnel talking to their superiors. It is decently casual. It's at ease. Your background would never have allowed for any of that shit, but you know that
I
it exists.
recognize it as something alien to her.
Man, imagine being at ease with your officers. Must be nice.
Man, that'd be wild, man. That'd be crazy.
And as you open the door, the officer like holds up a hand, like holds the conversation, turns around, and looks at you. He looks you up and down. He gets a smirk on his face. I don't suppose by happen chance you have a specific token.
You're very
What
wise.
made you think that?
Yes, you're very wise.
I can see past you to the many Nevils amidst your company.
Suppose it makes
And I was
it
told to expect. So, do you?
She holds up the token.
Perfect. Follow me.
She does as she's instructed.
You have a soldier background. This guy's a commander. He brings all of you into basically a side conference room. It's more equivalent to... Well, it's a big map room. Like a war room, almost. It's similar to what police officers would have to monitor their own precinct. Although, in this case, their precinct is the immediate northern environment. Take a seat if you want to have a seat. He gestures at a number of different desks and tables, even benches that are saddled against the wall. If not, then I will speak to you straightforwardly.
I take a lounging seat somewhere.
I do.
Yeah, you go over to a bench and kick up your legs and lean, occupy the whole bench by yourself.
Yeah.
Guess
I
I'll
give
go
that
take a seat as
act
well.
a very sour look.
Yeah, are you like standing at attention? It's up to him, or are you?
I want to say she's a bit at ease because of the previous room, but also probably
Your muscles aren't
unintentionally
tensed
saying
up, but your arms are still behind your back, we'll say.
it. Yeah. Respectful kind of thing.
You guys cycle into the room, and then he closes the door behind you guys and locks it. So, you are the adventurous Lyle has found, huh? Well, congratulations, first off. You went through quite the process, so I've heard.
Yes. Yes,
Well,
very,
not
very
you. Not you, it's
Process.
meant to be all classically. He stands at the head of the map, or the map table rather. Puts his hands on the railings on the side of it. So, introductions. You all are. He rolls his hands. You are.
Oriana.
Oriana. You from the military?
Yes. For lack of a
He looks you up and down. Which province?
So far.
Not Hellandic. So far. Looks at you, Anushka.
Dushka. I believe my background is
You're not
Apparent.
military. You're
No,
military
no, I'm
trained,
not.
I can tell that. You carry yourself in the way many never carry themselves. Confidence, but not discipline. No offense. Just don't be
Okay.
pointing that firearm anywhere in my city, huh?
I shall try to restrain myself. Yes.
Who's next?
Chopping block. Chopping block.
Silence.
Silence, yes.
My name is Sajar Milash Turanan Teshimendrak
I swear,
You're
every
not a
time
no-
I hear that.
Not a nobleman, I can
I
tell
don't
by the
even know
name.
how you can remember.
Well, when he came up with it, it's a lot easier to remember.
Yeah.
Not the nobleman. The way you flaunt yourself, sorcerer's capability. You're never as blood and strong then.
Give him a nod.
Who's next?
Silas.
Silas. You speak like a proper provincial from the south?
Heartlands.
Aye, but you don't have the Heartland accent. So you are a traveler or you're from a metropolitan place, no?
Silas would have the accent, I just can't do the accent.
Fair enough.
I've been trying this whole time, but not very successfully.
Just watch a bunch of British TV, it'll help the process start.
See, I know how to do British, but if I try to do Irish or Scottish, it just goes into British.
Just listen to David
I've got,
Tennant.
I've got to hear that attempt. Come on,
Just
come
listen to David
Just get
Tennant's sweet,
plastered,
sweet
then you're
voice.
halfway there.
Yeah.
My attempt at Scottish, you've heard it already.
Moving on. Who's next?
My
I
name
would
is
introduce myself.
Lost my phone. Heck.
My name is Dee Ramarius.
He squints. Well, a simplistic name, no? You do not choose your name. Fair enough. An elf this far north, though. Be careful about the West Levy men. I imagine they're
Yeah.
itching for a fight.
I've had my fair share of looks.
Well, be happy that they're only looks. I suppose neither side can start any trouble while the other side is here. Probably what the king wanted, eh? Don't blame
I'm
him.
very grateful.
I'm
next?
Redane.
Red Dean. He squints at you. You look familiar. He crosses his arms and leans back and taps his finger on his chin. Why do you look so familiar? Where are you from?
I am of Clan Magnus from Silfwall, but that is not
His
my
fingers.
surname.
That is why. God's work on mysterious ways. And your father?
Not a Magnus.
How would you describe him?
The way my mother described him. Of strong breeding stock.
Your mother is rather clinical then, huh? I met some of your... He does quotations. House. In the past. What is it, a decade ago now? Yeah, about. Next.
Who's left,
Wayne.
actually?
The person that's a type.
Ah.
Or he could just not introduce himself and then the commander notes it.
See above. He is orb. He is orb and chair.
Small and unnoticed.
I see. He does stare at you the entire time. To those of you that are looking at the commander, his eyes do shift from gentle and casual into a more discerning and piercing gaze as he keeps looking at him. But eventually he relents. So, most of you out the way. I'm Commander Dupont. I'm the one in charge of the Deep Strike Force.
Could you spell Dupont?
What's up?
Could you spell his name?
Sure.
I'm not gonna try and figure out how to.
You not already got it.
Yeah, it's
You
like
already got it.
really
It's a
common
yep.
French thing.
Oh,
Commander Dupont.
Or if you've ever read Tintin, there's Dupont and Dupont.
Yeah.
Call me Commander Dupont, but since none of you guys are any of my servicemen, you can call me Commander Clovis. This is Clovis, yeah.
Yeah.
He's been promoted many a time.
Friggin' Clovis.
My boy.
And you can see why he's the one in charge of the Deep Strike team.
No,
Knowing
I
your guys'
certainly
previous
can.
history. Yeah.
My boy.
We can't let this
Clovis
man
was
die.
originally a Hellenic scout that had his own... He technically was not ordered to do this. He sort of went AWOL on doing it. He went to go skirmish against Nevros scouts and then even brought one back alive for interrogation.
I got mine.
And he also didn't go out unprepared. Nevros' advantage includes dark vision. Many Nevros traps with dark vision. So when the scouts, the Hellenic scouts, drink potions of dark vision, suddenly their advantage turns into your surprise.
Cool.
Yeah, the Nevros acting real gangsta up until you pull out the night vision goggles.
It was when he said he recognized Renee, and it's just like, oh, I know why he does.
Yeah, he's met your previous characters, obviously.
Yeah, it didn't click to me, but I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Clovis, when you guys met, was like, I believe 23, so he's around 33 right now. So still decently fit for combat. Probably more experienced, definitely more experienced than every other person in the force right now. Well, maybe there's a couple of team exceptions, but that's besides the point. So, I was told I'm one of your potential supply avenues for your endeavors in the north. If you guys have a logistical mind, you're free to ask me and I will detail them out to you. Know that I am the delivery man, not the logistics runner. That would be the other commander. But he doesn't necessarily know the people I'm sending these things to. It's all cleared out though, all on the board.
That's probably where I realize I don't know what we're here to ask about.
I mean, you guys don't have to ask me anything.
how fast does it take you to deliver? I suppose, depending on location, yes?
You know, it's go ahead.
Yeah, answered my own question, okay.
To give you a general rundown of how the process works, we will be providing you a magic item which will allow you a periodic ability to send back requests to us. Imagine them like requisition. You requisition something, designate a safe drop point. Either you will meet us there, or we will dead drop for you, and you can go retrieve it yourself. The catch is, depending on what objects you are requesting, we will require you to be there to receive them. So valuable objects cannot be dead dropped.
And
Yes, we
what
can't
about...
have them fall into the wrong hands, absolutely.
No, definitely
Exactly.
not. What about payment?
Payment is handled from Lyle.
Oh, that's alright then.
Well, generally, we're handled by Lyle. So, food, water, alcohols, general supplies are covered by him. If you want to put in special requests, that is on your paycheck. Of which we will also be delivering, although, if it ask me personally, I think it's a waste. Might as well just start running a line of credit instead of actually giving you the money. But so if you assures me that some Nevros tribes in the north do value currency, more so the metal that is used to make them. So he wants us to give you the money in case you have need of it.
Okay.
Preparation is half the battle.
I realized I gave you the wrong name. It is
Oh, no.
Venier. It's Venier. DuPont is a different one.
Oh,
That's on me!
Yeah, I do remember that now. There was
a Commander DuPont, and I
Yeah.
defaulted to Commander DuPont.
Mhm,
But then
mhm.
Commander DuPont is a logistics commander. That's on me. Yeah, Venier.
down here.
Correction. Done.
Vernier.
Do not
Vernier.
and be rest assured that my teams will deliver these things, or they will die trying. And if they do die trying, I'll be sure to tell you their last known whereabouts for you to go get the supplies themselves from their bodies.
And what do these supplies entail?
Depends. We're to be regularly sending you food and water, drink, and stuff like that. Payment as well. At least that's what was dictated to me.
Understood. Armor, weaponries,
Ammunition
rounds,
will be-
and...
Ammunition will be chiefest amongst that. Food is nice, but if your enemy can kill you and take your food, what worth is it? Besides, I'm sure you'll be able to forage amongst the north to get your own food. So, the rations we deliver will thusly be either comfort home food or supplemental.
Can probably do most of the food, so.
And then that's how's that. I guess I was saying before, special requisitions for better armor, weapons, magical equipment, and that will be its own requisition, and you will be paying for that, I'm afraid. Every now and again, maybe I'll strike lucky with Commander Dupont, and he'll have some spare, finely crafted goods that I'll make alerted to you. And then you might get your hands on some of it. If not, they're going to my forces. We're such a new division that we sort of have to prove ourselves before we start getting the stuff, or grab what we can get.
I certainly understand.
So,
The
you'll
first step is us.
Go on.
The first step is often the most dangerous.
We have some steps behind us, luckily, some endeavors on about extractions and stuff like that. Which brings me to my next point. If any of you are critically injured to the point where you are not fit for field work anymore, our teams will extract you back to the south.
Oh, this
Get you
is
checked out
cool.
for curses, quarantine for any sicknesses and stuff thereof. Obviously, we're not the south with their fancy technologies. We're not the Cradle from the Twins, which were specifically equipped to deal with such, but yeah, slapdash military work, we can do it. Vice versa. If for whatever reason you need someone sent north, or Lyle decides to send someone else north, we will be escorting them to you. Now keep in mind, the Deep Strike Force, we're technically not allowed legally to go that far north. That doesn't stop me though, but just know that our presence in the north is covert. So,
We never saw
do not advocate our presence.
Noted.
Alright, I will keep my mouth shut this time, yes?
Please do. If not, you'll start a diplomatic incident. And then I'm sure all the Hilllanders will rejoice as they get to rearm themselves.
So, might I assume that you assisting us is also to prove the worth of your group, considering how new it is?
He shrugs. People will want us, no matter how we describe ourselves. They might be wanting in more, they might be wanting in less. But the demand for us, as you saw from Missionary Hatham at the door, there will always be something, as long as people are going north.
When he says the Helllanders will get their war, can I roll insight on that?
Yeah, he sounded aggressive.
I just want to know.
You jam rolled it.
What's happening there?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I don't know why I was on that. Weird. No,
That's
it's
crazy.
not good.
If you want to roll inside as well, be my guest.
Yeah.
Me too.
Sure. Nosy old me is gonna have a go.
Oof. Ooh!
Oh, God.
So many oofs today! Where's
Oh,
the GIF?
man.
Where's the GIF?
Okay, come on.
Mine is above 10. I am pleased with this. Ooh. Good. Yeah.
There's a lot of nat 20s today.
Oh,
For
getting them early.
a rather inordinate amount of nat 1s.
Yes. Balance in all things, right?
Yeah, so that means you guys get nat 1s later.
I hope not.
Hold on. No, take it back.
Oh, reroll. Because, like, public. Do it public. Okay.
Oh, look at that 19.
Commander Clovis is not making any particular effort in hiding his intent. That being said, some of you guys are particularly unable to read him. So...
Cough, 6.
So, to those of you that received a roll on including guidance above a 10... Unfortunate. You guys can read you guys can decently tell his expression. To say it's conflicted would be a lie. It makes it sound like they're fighting one another for supremacy. That's not. It's curious. Clovis is a man baked in military service. He has known war in his training and his life. It's only this past decade where war has been called off. So he is both of a mind for war because that's what he knows, and not for war because it's what it is now. Does he want war again? No. Would he mind it happening again? He'll follow through with what orders are and maybe rekindle something. But the thing is, he's like 30-something right now, so he wouldn't be even actively serving outside of most things as a commander. So he's sort of in the middle. He's similar to Lambert.
Right.
Although on the other side of it. So if Lambert is... Imagine a spectrum. If Lambert is a guy that's okay for peace, but he's leaning towards war, then Clovis is a guy that is okay with peace and leaning towards peace. But he's totally okay if things happen again.
Wait, Clovis is okay for peace, but leaning towards war?
No, that's Lambert.
That's Lambert. Okay with peace, but leaning towards peace.
They both want peace, but the thing is, like... If it's out of their hands, what would their attitude be on it? So, that's a little Clovis. At the very least, he has his orders, and he will follow them not only to the letter, but he will excel in them. Because that's sort of the thing. As a deep strike team, they still sort of see active combat. Compared to anyone else in the Hilllands' military. Who have to sit on their asses and wait. The deep strike teams are allowed to go north and still fight. Albeit covertly, but they're still allowed to. So to him, peacetime, wartime, his division is still getting action. So, it matters less to him. So, are there any other questions I can answer for you while you guys are in my division's HQ? Well, this town's HQ. There's another one. There's one in most cities.
If we were in other cities and had the same token as we do, would that have any power there, or is it something here?
If you decide to follow through with our supply avenue, orders will be disseminated across my division. The thing is, that probably won't be much relevance. You'll be up north most of the time, not in our towns.
Fair, but it's useful to know in case.
Fair enough. Well, speaking of that, are there any things of Hillandic politics that need versing? I don't dance much in the political game up here, but I'm still a noble son, so I stay up to date.
That's an out-of-game thing. No, I don't think Clovis would be the best lead-in for what we were talking about earlier with the guy that got arrested.
Up to you. I don't know.
I, as Garth, don't know how to...
If you guys have played Witcher 3... If you guys have played Witcher 3, the political emissary at the beginning of the game you talk to the Nilfgaardian one, this is what Clovis is for you guys. Like, so you guys have any questions on regions, politics, non-war efforts, peace efforts, I guess is the better way to describe it, you guys gotta ask him.
Gotcha.
What's his name? That guy was cool. He talked to Geralt like a proper person.
Right? Like, he very humanized him.
Yeah, he was so cool. It's like in The Witcher, it's like, oh, so how's the war effort going? Aside from how your side's gonna win. And then he just looks around like, okay, it's just us here, we're both the Emperor's servants, we can dispel with wartime propaganda, even if it's a joke. I'm gonna be honest with you, the war effort's not going well. This guy. Yeah, Ambassador of Acha.
Yeah,
He was a homie.
He was a G, yeah.
He was a homie. He doesn't show up everyone else in the game, but he was a homie.
Oh yes, I remember him.
Yeah. He's in the very beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Not the very, very beginning, but definitely towards the beginning. Yeah, if you guys have any questions for Clovis or requests, be my guest. If not, you guys are free to leave, go back to the inn, and then or go check out the other avenues or whatever.
Probably head back to the
D&D.
more questions.
So what are y'all wearing for armor?
Ooh.
Oh, I know
That's
what
a
you're
good-
doing. I know what you're doing. And that's very conniving of you, but I applaud it.
Studded leather armor.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you guys were allowed to buy up to your best mundane equivalents.
Mhm.
You were buy up to, not just have. So none of you guys are wearing play armor, luckily, which is 1,500 gold. But yeah.
Sorry, what was the question? I didn't hear.
What armor are you guys rocking?
I've got studded leather as well, I think. Double check.
I
I
just
know
have
what
leather.
Sajar is. Oh, y'all are all leatheries.
Leather.
Is it? Is there like a place we can go buy some leather, like around?
Like just raw leather?
I mean, armor.
Armor? Yes.
Yeah.
Although there's not much getting better commercially.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not gonna
There
get
are
plus one
tiers
or something.
to equipment. It's the default, the mundanes. There's the mastercraft versions. Then there's the magical plus ones, plus 2s. I do go to +5, but good luck getting that in the beginning of the game. And there are +5 mastercrafted, which is to say they're +6s, and those things are god tier legendary. So yeah,
Legendary, you say.
legendary.
Okay.
Hey.
If we were to inquire about armor, would you...
Yeah.
Would I?
Is there any that is without a home that we could get for a lower cost?
I see.
That's the way to put it.
Ah. Without them, no, but he taps the table. You guys are setting out very soon, yes? Tonight or so?
The plan is, yes.
There is an liaison here in Nouvetal from the logistics division. I could try speaking with her, see if she might be able to open up some advanced stock. But don't get your hopes up. She's
Understood.
she's on the other side of the street, and so, well, not this street, but that one. He gestures in the western direction. Logistics department and us share the street. So you could try asking her directly, or I can do it for you. So I guess it's a question of how charismatic you are versus the authority I command. That being said, I can't order supplies to magically appear. Well, if he thinks on it, I can, but that would be a hell of an ass. That's besides the point. How much would you guys be looking to get?
So I'm about to have to leave, but
Oh, yeah,
go ahead,
hop
go ahead.
off.
How much is like the armor worth?
Well, depends on the armor.
So for you, there's not much better you can do than studded leather.
He can get access to Mastercraft gear. Like, that is on the table.
Can you get access to mastercrafted weaponry?
He can.
Ah.
So these would be +1s, but if anything has the term non-magical immunity or non-magical resistance, the swords and armors are not magic. So they can get cut through like anything else. Or rather, can't cut through certain things. So this would apply to like ghosts, and particularly infamous creatures and things of that like. So for stabbing a person, it'll stab them like normal. Stabbing a ghost, the ghost is gonna laugh at you.
Would he be able to acquire something that could make, like, how do I do this? Unarmed strike, make that, maybe not count as magical, but improve that in any way? Fair enough.
Well, you can get weapons.
Yeah.
Knuckles, cestus, punch knives, shivs, stuff like that.
How
You can make it
So I don't.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't know how you want to work it, but if y'all want to do other things and not like negotiate that, that could be like what Redain does.
Yeah, because I'll have to hop out to go GM his other game. And go
But if y'all want.
Well, the thing is, Clovis can only follow through with this if you guys pick the Deep Strike team as your avenue.
I mean, I'm fine with them. I love my boy Clovis. Always will.
If it wasn't Clovis and it was someone else, I'd be like, maybe we should check the other ones. But also, it's Clovis. At least for the memes, I'm down for it.
Well, just to keep it a little bit longer, I'll just make the choices a bit more transparent while O is here.
Okay.
The Deep Strike teams are obviously more covert, and they definitely have access to more militaristic authority and the supply chain thereof. The Suitlers can get you guys way more inventory if you're willing to pay for it. So, Clovis won't be able to get you a bunch of different random magical gear. It has to be stuff that's relatively in alignment to military purposes, or covert purposes, or thereof, which is pretty broad in and of itself, in fairness, but that's besides the point. The Suitlers can get you anything within payable reason.
But we'd have to pay that out of pocket?
You'd have to pay that out of pocket. Well,
Okay.
you're gonna have to pay stuff out of pocket with Clovis anyways, but you might get a military discount.
Gotcha.
The missionaries, as a whole, the less about militaristic armament, armors and weapons and stuff like that, but they can get you scrolls, potions, divine intervention. Well, maybe divine aid. So stuff like that. And each missionary group that is sent up there, you guys will get the schedule of, and you can meet up with them. And then each of them will be in tailorment to a specific god. So, let's say you guys know you have to go duel a clan chieftain, and then a missionary group from Golshak Krognek, the god of war and blood, shows up. The missionary can go, "Oh, hell yeah! You let me get in on this! I want to watch!" And then you just get like this blessing when you go into a fight because Golshak's watching, baby. So it's tailored aid. Criminals are a bit of everything. They can get you, in theory, everything. In theory, if you want to pay for it. So they're a mix of everything. But there is also the catch of there's legal troubles thereof, but they can also access more illicit stock. So poisons and drugs and so on that you wouldn't normally have access to. As full transparent counterpoint, if you bring